This week on the Braxtons.
No, not at that time.
Yeah, because at that time,
I have
and
the
Tracy
time.
were kind of at odds, though. It wasn't.
No, we
like,
wasn't at odds.
Oh,
Do you know something I don't know?
Yo, what's up, everybody, and welcome back. Today we're going to be talking about the new episode of the Braxtons, Season 1, Episode 5. Let's get right into this. Alright, so we start this episode with Towanda going off on the producers because the producer wanted to shoot a scene with Kevin Jr., his dad, and his grandpa, Mr. Braxton. Towanda is screaming up a storm like a lunatic, saying that that man will never have a space in our platform. Meanwhile, they have talked about him all this time. So they claim that Kevin Sr. went against Tracy's wishes by having a funeral because she had explicitly said that she didn't want one. So they claim that because Kevin, her husband, didn't respect Tracy's wishes, they don't want anything to do with him. Then Towanda keeps going off about the drama that happened with Tracy when they got that record deal. And remember, Tracy got pregnant and they didn't want to sign her. That happened decades ago. But Towanda seems to have the energy to talk about it now. Again, screaming, "We didn't leave her. We didn't do this." Now, this bothered me for a few reasons. Number one, they're doing all of this because they know how much of a bad look it looked when they didn't attend that funeral service. I remember watching the service. It was a beautiful service. Candace from Potomac was there, a lot of other speakers, singers, and Lil Kev, who they claim to care so much about now. Yeah, he was there too. So they didn't want to go because they're petty, and that's crazy. The dad went, but the mom and the sisters didn't. Get out of here. Like, I really didn't like that. Like, if you don't go to somebody's memorial service, And this whole he didn't respect her wishes. Well, guess what? None of these sisters respected Tracy's wishes either when she was alive. Matter of fact, they belittled her. And now Towanda wants to blame the editing of the Braxton family values. No, Towanda, we all saw how you all treated her for 7 years on camera. Now, y'all want to make her life partner, the man who she became one with? Y'all want to make him the villain? Okay, let me calm down. So then we see Tamar. She's getting emotional because her single went #1, but she wishes Tracy was here to see it. So she's at the recording studio and they listen to the track back. Her next album that she's working on will have that R&B essence. One thing that's interesting though is that Tamar still has a connection with Vince beyond them just having a child. Tamar says that Vince has a talent, which is music, so he still helps her out a lot when it comes to music, and she actually FaceTimed him in this scene and it looks like they're still really friendly. Tamar also says that in her tours, she always plays Tracy's songs, Last Call. Now my question is, was this the same song that Tamar was going around trashing when Tracy put it out, saying that it was all auto-tunes? Just wondering. But it was interesting to see Tamar go inside the booth and record a little. So in the next scene, Evelyn, Tamar, Towanda, and Trina meet up for lunch, or just like at a restaurant. Toni FaceTimes them. She's currently in France doing a little gig, so we didn't see her the entire episode because she's over there in France. Now, just like in the first few episodes, Tamar looked like she didn't want to be there on her phone, and it looked like she wanted to be anywhere else but here. But the main reason that they met up is because they want to talk about the trip that Trina and Towanda just took at the DMV area. So Towanda's filling Tamar and Evelyn on how Scrappy was doing, and that Kevin Jr. said that his dad thinks that Tracy wasn't in her right state of mind when she left her will the way she left it. Evelyn says that she actually had a conversation about this with Tracy. She says that Tracy told her that she was going to leave this all to her son. The mom, Evelyn, claims that she told Tracy, "Don't you think that this will put your son and your husband at odds?" And she claims that Tracy told her, "Well, this will give her son some balls." Tamar did ask a good question, which was to her mom, doesn't it feel weird, like you talking about this type of things? Like, doesn't it make you feel a certain type of way, maybe sad? And Evelyn says, no, Wow. So they are also planning a birthday party for Tracy. This will be her second birthday since she left. And then Tamar gets very emotional and starts to cry when she's talking about her single that she's working on. And she talks about feeling Tracy in certain moments. She says that she feels Tracy showing up. The guy who Tamar is working with on this single actually worked with Tracy in the past, and Tamar didn't know this until recently. So it was a pretty sad moment. And y'all, it did crack me up that when they left, Towanda says, "I'll take care of the bail," and Tamar says, "You should take care of it. You're the one who ordered something." That was hilarious. How you talk about I'm taking care of the bill, but you're the only one that ordered. I can't. Alright, so then Trina, Vaughn, and her kids go to throw axes. Y'all know, like, where you can go to a place and throw the axes. Trina's oldest son is married, and Trina really wants a grandchild, so she's asking her son, when's it coming? Her other son has the funniest mustache. And Vaughn, y'all, there's something creepy about this man. And he might be a good guy, I don't know, but even him giving advice to the boys, I was like, what? What are you saying? He's talking to them about y'all need to have y'all a power. Y'all don't want a kid, then you keep the power. It was a little weird. Then we see Towanda, and listen, Towanda really wants to make fetch happen. Hey Siri, call Scratchy. Hey Scratchy. But she called him to invite him to the party that they're gonna have for Tracy. So Vaughn and Trina again. They were riding their golf cart, and then they sat by a park. And again, you guys, Vaughn looks like he can't stand Trina. So Trina is telling him that she really does want grandkids, and Vaughn says, "Well, if they don't want to, then they don't want to. I told them to get vasectomies." Oh my gosh. He then got so irritated and tells Trina to leave them alone. And Trina, I was just thinking, what the hell did you see in this man? So then it's time for Tracy's birthday party. Very nice. They had pictures, some balloons. Some of these outfits, though, like Trina and Towanda, what were these girls wearing? But anyway, Towanda then brings out little Kev as a surprise guest. Then they eat their crabs, which they said were too small. So there was a close friend of Tracy's there at the party named Diane. And Tamar asks her, how was it for her to stop her entire life to be there with Tracy 24 hours a day? So it looks like Diane was a very good friend of Tracy's. Diane says that when Tracy told her that she didn't want to be by herself, Diane made sure that she was going to be there. So that's interesting though. Tracy told her friend Diane that she didn't want to be alone. Wow. What does that tell you about? Okay. So then Tamar says that she went there as soon as she found out. But she found out late in the game. Tamar says that nobody told her. Even the mom didn't tell her about Tracy's illness. Literally nobody would tell her. And she says that she only found out when they were in a living room and a hospice doctor came and told them that Tracy had 2 weeks left. That's how she found out. And this is something that still bothers Tamar because she feels like she was robbed time from spending with Tracy. The mom says, well, she didn't want me to tell anyone. Trina then jumps in and says to Tamar, well, you and Tracy were kind of at odds though. And Tamar says, no, we weren't. Do you know something that I don't? And Trina says, yes, you were at odds when you were in DC doing some show and something happened. Towanda then gets up and leaves, but then Trina calls over Tamar's producer to ask him if he remembers when Tamar and Tracy were at odds because Tracy kind of even got into it with this said producer. Once Tamar remembers, she's like, but Trina, that was a while ago before she got sick. But Trina is holding her own. She says, no, y'all were at odds at the time. Tamar looked mad, and I understand Tamar's perspective of wanting to have known sooner. But I also believe Trina when she says that Tamar and Tracy were at odds. Like, everybody knows Tamar's behavior and how she behaves and how rude she was to Tracy. But the good thing, though, is that at the end of the day, even though she did find out late, Tamar did get very close to Tracy those final moments of her life. So that's the positive, I guess. And then the mom leads them to do the electric slide. And that was the end of the episode. So yeah, this was a really interesting episode. I mean, we definitely got to hear a little bit more of Tamar's perspective in this episode because I feel like we haven't really seen that too much in these past other episodes. And it's kind of starting to make sense why she felt a certain type of way about doing the show in the first place. Because remember, she said that her mom had to beg her to come do it. She does feel some type of way about the family not telling her about Tracy's illness. And it's little stuff like that. Like, the problems with this family are like so freaking layered. Like, there's so many layers to it that you literally have to peel layer by layer. It's like a flaky, buttery biscuit, just all the layers. That's how much of their problems are. So I don't know. Hopefully, with talking it over, they get to clear some of these things. But it was definitely very nice to see, again, Tracy's good friend Diane, who, like Tamar said, left her life, you guys, to be with Tracy. That is the true definition of a friend. But anyway, you guys, let me know what your thoughts were about this episode. Please don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll catch y'all next time. You have a great one. Bye.